I've been recovering from burnout from a job that I did from 9 till 6, a 4-hour drive, and I made content on top of all of that. And I'm finally free of it. And it's taken me a while to become free from it in my head. Because the nervous system won't let go easily. It takes a lot for your nervous system to believe that you're not in danger. That's what it's designed for. It's working well. But it's working against what? It's working against our well-being, should I say. So, we're going to do a little breath work, just a few breaths, before we do a meditation practice. So come into your seated posture. I hope you're well. Excuse me. So, who do we have? Say hello. You don't have to if you're shy. The choice is yours. Right. So, come into your seated posture. I take it you can hear me okay. The light's on. All's good. Great. Okay. Hey, hello, Jill. I didn't expect to see you here. I thought you were more of a night bird. Lovely to see you, though. So, come into your seated posture and allow the eyes to close gently. Gently. Hello, if you've just joined us. We're just about to meditate and we're starting with some breath work first to settle the nervous system. So just relax in your meditation posture. Allow the eyes to close gently. We're going to do something called Brahmari breath. Brahmari. This means bee breath. It's a black bee in India, and it's known for its deep, resonant hum. So on the in-breath, hold it for a second at the top, and then on the out-breath, just a gentle hum. Hum all the way until the very end of the out-breath. And when you reach the end of the out-breath, slowly breathe in, and then all the way out, extending the out-breath. As long as you can. And then in again. And as you do it, see if you can feel those vibrations. Connect with those vibrations wherever they show up. I'm not going to give you any preconceived ideas. I want you to be mindful and find that vibration for yourself. For those of you who've just joined us, join in the buzz. So on the in-breath, and then the out-breath is a long, deep, resonant hum. And then one more. Really feel that buzz now. And notice that it's the very end of an Om. The yogis knew what they were doing. When you come to the end, keep the eyes closed. Make sure you're comfortable. And just begin to extend the out-breath now. Nitrous oxide. It's actually nitric oxide. So what you've done then is you have increased the production of nitric oxide 15 times. This is a relaxant. It relaxes the heart. It opens up the blood vessels so you can get clarity right into the brain, the heart. It switches on the parasympathetic nervous system. So we go from scurrying about into rest and digest. We've told our body that it's safe. Then just bring your attention to your nostrils. Seeing if you can feel the air coming in and out of the nostrils. And is breath awareness or the felt sense more important? I've just been asked that question, so we'll bring that into the practice. That's actually a very good question. In this practice, we try to feel those tiny molecules of air passing over the skin of the nostrils as they come in and out. And we stay stationed at that one point at which we feel it's strongest. This is either towards the tip of the nose, or we can feel it at the back where the nostril and upper lip meet. feeling this is important to deepen our concentration. It can be quite difficult. But that's why it's the perfect object. Because it's hard to do. I'll address these questions towards the end. Now, you may not feel the breath. It could well be that you know you're breathing, but you're not feeling anything. If that's the case, just know the breath is happening. This is enough. What we don't do is force the breath. We don't speed it up. We don't make it harder and heavier, coarser, so it becomes more prominent. Instead, we know the breath is occurring, and we lower the mind onto the breath, resting the mind on the breath. And then something strange happens. When we're not pushing the breath, when we're not forcing, when we allow it to soften, more often than not, it makes an appearance. We can look at the qualities of the breath. This breath that's coming in, breath coming in right now. Is it long, the in-breath, or short? Don't make it long or short. How is it naturally, long or short? The breath out. Is that long or short? Again, don't force it. And don't be under the belief that an out-breath means every drop of oxygen must be expelled, carbon dioxide must be expelled from the body. Because actually, it shouldn't. We need to retain some of that carbon dioxide in the body so we can better assimilate the oxygen we take in. The ratio has to be right. And this is why you get to the end of your breath when you're noticing it. You may have the thought as I did. There's still breath in, I'm going to push it out. When we're not practicing pranayama, breath work, we're naturally just focusing in on the breath. We can see that. And this in-breath now, is it smooth? Coming in one fine stream. Or is it bumpy? Does it come in and fits and starts? Maybe the in-breath consists of 3 or 4 tiny in-breaths. Look closely. What's happening when you leave the breath alone and you just become the observer? And then the out-breath. Does that go out in one fine, seamless flow? Or does it struggle out of the body? Neither of these are wrong or right. The breath you're having right now, as it is the right breath to observe. It will give you deep insights as well into the state of the mind. When we get excited or afraid in the world, what happens? Deep, erratic breathing kicks in. As we switch over from rest or digest to fight or flight, we switch nervous systems, parasympathetic to sympathetic, as we prepare to flee or fight. And so many people now struggle with sleep, with insomnia. And it's not very well known, but one of the main reasons for this is that everyone is trapped in the sympathetic nervous system. Endless scrolling, doom scrolling, news, fear, worry. That's telling you, your nervous system, that there's a huge problem and you had better prepare. But if you look outside, there's just trees, wind and bird song. Thank you, iCroop Danoa, for sending me £60, although this is not true. And I know it's not true for the simple reason that I don't have the ability for you to send me any money. But I appreciate the sentiment. Some great questions were asked earlier. And are you still there, Jay? Are you still around? Because I will answer them, and I'm so glad you appreciate the stream. I'm grateful for that. And I'm glad you were doing it all day yesterday after working. Try doing it before you work as well and see the difference that makes in your life. Don't know what's going on these days, but I feel I'm just working and not living. That's how we all feel. But that leads me on to something quite important: agency. Agency and reclaiming our own lives. We have to do this. We have to live intentionally. So many people, everyone, let's say, it's the rare one in several 100,000 who is living intentionally. And what other way is there to live? We have to learn how to live intentionally. Otherwise, we're just carried mercilessly along to the end of our lives. When we finally wake up in a hospital bed and say, what was all that about? We've got to wake up before then. We've got to wake up now. We've got to wake up and grab those oars and row to get out of the current. So we're not just swept along. This life is sacred. What could be more important than living life on your terms, from your own values? Don't let the world tell you what your values are. Get to know yourself deeply. Write, journal, find out who you are. Only when you know who you are can you be happy. If you're waiting for the world to tell you who you are and what you should be doing, you'll be caught on the hedonic treadmill, constantly running after the next thing that's going to make you happy. But it's a dream. It can't make you happy. If you want proof, look at all the things that were going to make you happy. What happened? What went wrong? That person, that job, that raise, Ajahn Brahm says, married people have married people problems, and single people have single people problems. Married people look at single people on a Friday night and they think, they're so lucky. Look how free they are. They can meet whoever they want and do whatever they like. Nobody's telling them they can do this or that or can't. But those single people return from that night out and they look at married people and they say, I feel so lonely. I need a partner. I'm never going to be happy on my own. And then they switch places. The married person leaves their partner for that great freedom they fantasized about. And the single person meets that person and gets married. It's all an illusion. The only happiness that is enduring is already here. Mick Jagger, I can't get no satisfaction. Singing it on a stage to millions, to the whole world. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, fame, wealth. What more could he have asked for of the world? And he's spelling it out. I can't get no satisfaction. This doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the world. The world is beautiful. You see so many spiritual teachings that talk about the world as if it's a terrible thing. But it's life itself. But there was a yogi, I don't remember which one it was. It was someone like Yogananda, somebody like that. They arrived in America from India. So they came from a place where there was like leprosy and abject poverty and just a place of lots of misery and suffering, and landed in America. And they looked around and he said, they live in paradise, but they'll never know it. And he was referring to this in us human beings, dukkha, as the Buddha calls it. Now, you may have heard people say, oh, Buddhism, it's miserable because all it talks about is suffering. Dukkha is the word. But dukkha, suffering, is a very... That's not what the Buddha meant at all. Dukkha, it comes from wheel, an axle, not fitting properly. The word, it comes from a cartwheel being poorly fitted, so you get a bumpy ride. That's what it means. It means that life is a bumpy road. It means that another translation I've heard, which is very good, is unsatisfactoriness. Now it's not English, but it gets to the point. And the point is, we can't be happy with the way things are. We're made that way. We're made that way. That doesn't mean we can't find happiness. The Buddha left his palace. He left his family. He had a palace for every single season. He had everything he could want, all the food, all the girls, everything. But he realized, if I'm not happy now, what can I do? What can I do about it? And whether you believe the story or not, he went out of the palace gates and he saw 3 people, heavenly messengers, someone sick, someone old, and someone dying. And these had all been shielded from him. Whenever anyone was ill, they were hidden away from him. He didn't encounter old age, sickness, or death. But these woke him up, realizing that I've got to do something about this discontent. And he started his journey. And his main teaching is that dukkha, he's got the 4 Noble Truths. And I got very stuck on the first one. There is suffering. He says it plain and simply. When I first heard this, I went into quite a depression. Looking back, I was already suffering from depression at the time. But I latched onto that, and I was seeing suffering everywhere. And life is just suffering. And I'd argue with my wife, and she'd be like, life's not suffering. And I'd be like, it is. But that's not what the Buddha meant at all. He meant there is this discontent. We as humans find it impossible to just settle and be happy, because the grass is always greener. We want what we can't have. But when we meditate, we see this. We see this dukkha. We see it come. This fear, worry, anxiety, wanting, craving. We see it all come and pull us off track. And when we see it, a golden opportunity arises. And that opportunity is to say, I see you. To watch the workings of the mind. Yes, I know where this goes. I know where this goes. I know where it may be you open the fridge door for something you said you wouldn't have that night. Slice of cake, a beer, whatever it is. But you know how it ends. You start to learn how the mind tricks you. How it says, it's only a piece of cake. Or it's only 1 beer. But then after you beat yourself senseless because you said, I wasn't going to drink tonight. Or I'd stick to that diet, or whatever it is. And there's a fascinating insight into this. by Dr. Steve Peters. He's written a book called The Chimp Paradox. And he says it's not you doing it at all. It's your chimp. So we're not to blame. The human part of us is right at the front of the head, the front of the brain. The older mammalian brain, the lizard brain, that gets information first. So that gets information, and it's stronger than our human brain. We have an animal brain and a human brain. And the human brain is quite a new thing. It sits over the top of the old brain, and the old brain runs the show unless we switch the human on. And meditation switches the human on. Anyway, I'm waffling now. I've waffled a bit too long. Thank you, everyone who's joined. I'll be back soon. Are you in a shed? I am in a shed. We've finished the meditation. I was nattering afterwards. Giving a natter afterwards. Yeah, still suffering. Still suffering. Yeah, I like to have a chat afterwards. So that's what was happening. But yes, I am in a shed's a bit of a harsh word. I'm in a studio. This is my studio. I teach meditation from it and I paint from it. Peace, everyone. Take care. See you in the next day or two.